Hello. At some point in our lives, we all need the services of a Justice of the Peace, who play a crucial role in the legal system by providing accessible and free witnessing services. But there's so much more to what they do, and to explain that and a whole lot more, say hello to Marlene Haese and Ian Pilkington. Welcome. Hello.
Thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, except
Good.
my tongue is, I think, chewed up in my mouth. It's not spitting out the words it's supposed to. But I guess this happens to everybody because you're both, well, first of all, you're obviously Marlene.
Yes.
And you're obviously Ian.
I am.
And both of you are Justice of the Peace, but actually quite different
Correct.
in what you do.
We are.
And I didn't even realise that. I also didn't realise that it's a unpaid profession.
It is.
Marlene, how did you, or where did you start to get the inkling that this was something you wanted to do in life? Because your story is quite big.
Well, it is, but I've had a background. I sort of grew up, did my schooling in Papua New Guinea, and loved to dance and help people as in school. I mean, we were a very, very small school, so we only had 100 in our school. And I don't know, I seemed to be the problem solver for some reason. Came back to Australia.
You weren't a bossy girl, were you?
No, I wasn't bossy.
Just organised.
Just a problem
but actually,
solver.
it is. It's about being organised.
It is, and logic. Logic comes
Yeah.
into it a lot as well. So then when I came back to Australia and I got an apprenticeship, so I was the second female electronic technician apprentice for the Department of Science and Technology out at Salisbury.
Oh, amazing.
So pioneering along the way. So going back quite a number of years. So
You just said something really interesting just before we started about coming back to Australia and seeing white faces again.
yes, it was very daunting, and I think it was the population, sort of like coming down from Lae in Papua New Guinea, where the majority of the people were locals in the area, and then coming down to extremely, extremely busy streets in Brisbane and really being scared to cross the road, and there was just so many people there, and it was
it's
really
amazing.
daunting. So yeah.
So what's your backstory, Ian?
So I grew up with a dad that had physical disability, and so I sort of saw him overcome all sorts of challenges, and he was a justice of the peace of himself. So I saw him as the need of the community, and then as life progressed, I actually had my own physical restrictions as well that sort of set in. So I was thinking, well, how can I serve my community if I can't walk a lot? And I saw people coming to my dad, so I followed in his footsteps. He needed to retire from being a JP.
But he was also a councillor, wasn't he?
Yeah, but City of West Torrens.
Is it 15 years?
About 17 years.
17. And you were lucky enough to be awarded...
Citizen of the Year for 2025.
Well, I don't know whether it's lucky enough. I know you've got it there, so just chuck it across to me. I can hold that up for you.
Thank you.
It's lovely when it's so beautifully framed. And this, West Torrens City Council, there you go, I'll just hold up a little higher for you. It is quite a commendation when you get something like this, because it really shows, you know, that you've done exactly what you set out to do, to be proactive in your community.
Doesn't help the imposter syndrome though.
Oh, okay.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's you, but now you've gone on to be even more in the prison system.
I do. So I've been a Justice of the Peace for about 18 years. So I actually started that from my work, whereas I had to send people off to get statutory declarations signed, but I could do all the other paperwork. So that's when I decided that perhaps I should become a JP as well. So I've been a JP for about 18 years, and then about 15 years ago I became a Special Justice. So a Special Justice at that stage could sit on the bench in courts and do primarily traffic offences. So there were the minor offences in the court system to take the load away, reduce the load in the courts for the magistrates. So unfortunately, about 5 years ago, it's not so much in the courts anymore. But we still
Was that like incredibly taxing though, when really, even though they're small demeanours, just to have to make a decision when you hear the whole story?
It can be. Well, I'm going to say that, you know, there is a lot of people in our court systems with mental disabilities, and that is really hard and heart-wrenching to try and, they're back and back again, time and time again, and you always think, what can you do for them? And sometimes they just get caught up in the system. So I've also, as a special justice, went into the prison systems to run visiting tribunals. So that's doing hearing offences within the prison system that have happened within the prison. So
does that happen often?
Yes. So there's minor breaches, which are they're just given disciplinary actions within the prison.
Like what would be the minor?
A minor one could be.
A bit of a beat up or something?
No. A beat up will come to me unless it's an assault or something like that, and then it'll go external to the courts.
What, smuggling in drugs, or?
Yeah, drugs will do it. As being rude, not obeying the orders of the officers.
But this is only in the women's prison?
No, in all
both?
the prisons. So there's 7 prisons across South Australia, but primarily.
I didn't even know that. Must be a lot of naughty people.
Well, there's so primarily I'm in Yatala and Mobilong at the moment. So and we're looking at audio-visual system, hopefully, to set that up for the other prisons that we can't
So
get
that
to.
means you wouldn't have to physically attend? Is that what it means? Or?
I'll attend the local ones, but it means the regional ones would be able to bring in
And where are the
audio-visual.
others?
There's one in Port Lincoln, there's one in Cadell, there's one in Murray
Cadell
Bridge.
Training Centre, yes.
Yes, there's one up at Mount Gambier. Then there's, of course, the Adelaide Women's and Yatala and the Adelaide Remand Centre.
And obviously, while we're talking about South Australia, there'd be somebody that would match you in Victoria, I imagine.
Quite probably, yes. They're all of the justices of the peace. The legislations are different in each state, so they've all got slightly different ways of doing things.
Right.
So.
Well, you do the other things as well. Obviously, the signing and stamping, witnessing
yes,
of
I
documents.
do. So I used to sit in a signing room, but I'm also currently the president of the Association of South Australia.
Yes, we're going to talk a bit about that.
Okay, that's
so
right.
that if people are really interested to follow this through, and in a funny sort of way, who wouldn't be? Because it's a great service to the community. But we also know that some people have become JPs, and you sort of question why. Ian, just getting back to you, we've got a photo here of you actually accepting the award with the Mayor at the West Torrens City Council. I'm glad he dressed up for you.
Yes, we both got the fancy dress memo.
No, he's been on our program before. And that's lovely to have that, to have the recommendation of both. Just tell me, with your dad, what was his physical disability?
So he had a condition called ankylosing spondylitis, which is basically a condition which fuses the spine.
Right.
So he had basically a spine that didn't move. He also had a hip that didn't move and a leg that didn't bend.
And you became a full-time carer for him?
I did. So my parents separated and divorced about 15 years ago, and I must have been around the time when I sort of heard that Italy didn't have nursing homes. And my dad had 2 greatest fears in life, was losing his mental faculties and ending up in institutionalised care. So I decided that I'd try and do my best to try and avoid that from happening, or if I couldn't avoid that from happening, delaying it for as long as possible.
But was he here? He was
in Adelaide, yeah.
He was in Adelaide then. Yeah. But he was what, from Italy originally, did you say?
He's from Adelaide.
Oh, he was always from Adelaide.
Always from
okay.
Adelaide.
Okay.
So
now, what happened to you that you have a similar, well, not a similar issue, but...
So I decided to try and lose weight, get fit and exercise, and managed to break my ankle. And walked around with a broken ankle for about 3 months.
Yes, that's a bit of a mistake, really.
It is.
And
So
very painful, I would imagine.
It does. So you end up having a few surgeries and end up with chronic pain, and then they fuse other joints to try and get rid of the pain.
Yeah.
So you just try and find a way to keep moving and connect with community, and being a justice of the peace is a great way to do that.
Now, I've certainly needed to have documents signed over the years, and realising that a local council usually has somebody, but where else can we find a JP?
Libraries, nursing homes, hospitals, police stations, so some justices of the peace sit in police stations as well.
Right.
You can also just, there is a public website that you can go to find a JP and search an area. We all, by requirement, actually have to list a public listed phone number.
Right.
So some people list availability during the day, some might do it at night. I list both. So personally, I do volunteer, as Marlene talked about, the council signing rooms, but I am on the roster for the Royal Adelaide Hospital.
Well, I guess a poster here that actually explains all the different things that you do. Justice of the Peace is here to help at every major event of your journey through life with all of those things. And where can we find that? I guess that's online as well. I know you've got a brochure here.
We've got some brochures there,
Yeah.
but I'd like to thank the Victorian Justices of the Peace for putting that brochure to get that flyer itself together for us, and let us use that poster through the journey through life. But yes, it's in. I've got some brochures there. So how can a Justice of the Peace help you? We've got one that's aimed specifically at seniors, which talks about your Advanced Care Directive.
Oh, that's me.
And enduring power of attorney and wills. And while Justice of the Peace aren't required to sign wills, it sort of goes hand in hand with those others. They can, but it still needs to be two independent parties, and they wouldn't put Justice of the Peace after their name for it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
so it'd just be straight witnesses.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're going to come back in a tick, and we'll talk about how to become a JP and who qualifies for it. And we'll see you back here in just a moment. Our guests on this episode of Our Time are Marlene Haese and Ian Pilkington, who are both JPs or Justices of the Peace. Do you carry a weapon to be a justice?
No, at one stage
shame.
they did.
We carry pens and stamps.
Pens. I know. We've obviously seen far too many old American westerns where the Justice of the Peace was the sheriff packing. But you don't have to do any of that. No. How fabulous. Now, anyone can become a JP providing
they are a Australian citizen and resident of in South Australia, resident of South Australia, have a good grasp on the English language and reading and writing, and over the age of 18.
And do you have to learn to be a JP?
You do have to do an entry test and read some information about the documents that you would be signing and answer some basic questions. But Royal Association of Justices also runs training for JPs to help them get more confident in the use of the documents or the understanding of the documents, and keeping people up to date with changes of legislation.
Now that's what you are. You're the president, aren't you?
Yes.
Of the
RAJSA, which is the Royal Association of Justices for South Australia.
Oh, we've got a lovely picture of that too, of your logo.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that, I guess, is I had no idea, and probably most people didn't, that there was an organisation to organise all of that. And there it is, RAJSA. It's a good logo, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's a recent logo, so we had a change 18 months ago now, trying to rebrand into the 21st century, and that's the beautiful logo that we came up with.
Yeah, I guess there's so much more now official documentation that needs to be cleared. Have you, because you've only been a JP, Ian, for a short time, haven't you?
Yes, I'm still a resident appointee, so about 2.5 years in.
Right.
So I did the new beginner's introduction to be a JP, so you understand the basics of what you have to do, because sometimes, as Marlene talked about, is understanding the processes and getting into that flow. And so we can have a multitude of things. So sometimes it can be paternity tests is a more current one that's coming up. Someone might want to buy a second-hand vehicle and they might want to not take a warranty out, and we have to do that as well. So there's all different types of documents that we see.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. So there's
when somebody comes to you, though, you've really got to do a bit of reading as to what they're giving you to sign, of course.
We're a big fan of instruction pages.
Yeah, that's right. Read the instructions.
Yeah, exactly. But is there help online for ones that you don't sort of have in your head already?
We've got a checklist app that we've developed at the association, which runs to the handbook. The handbook is put out by the Attorney General's office, which is Justice of the Peace Services in Adelaide, and they put out the handbook, which has got all the information in it, and we've got a checklist app that goes on your phone or on your computer, and you can go straight to the document that you're wanting to sign and run through it tick by tick to understand what the process for those documents.
If you've got an eager person sitting on the other side of the table, like hurry up, just sign it.
Malcolm, one of the great things about being a member of the association is people join groups. So I'm actually a member of 2 groups because I just can't pick one.
Oh, okay.
And
So am I.
the idea is that you network, so you meet other justices of the peace, you discuss discussions. So the old adage of phone a friend literally is there. So there's others that I know that are based in hospitals that see different documents, although I visit hospitals as well. But there's others that we go, look, I actually know the trainer, did training a few months ago. I've read through the app, but I just want to make sure I get things right, because there are some really tricky documents, things like power of attorneys or enduring power of attorneys, making sure you get that right, because JPs are not able to give legal advice. So that's a really important distinction, is that yes, we can witness a document, but we can't give legal advice.
Right. Yes, I suppose, yes. When you think about that, I realise why. Because there's just so much behind all of that, isn't there?
Correct. And you said about people that were wanting us to hurry up and just get this document signed. We've got a process to follow which is legislated. So we do have to encourage our clients to sometimes allow us the time to go through the documents in the process that we need to have it done. So to make sure that we've followed all that process so it doesn't fall over. Well, so it doesn't, the document doesn't fall over at the end.
Right.
If we don't complete for example, an advanced care directive or an enduring power of attorney properly, when it becomes to when somebody loses competence to be able to do something for themselves, if our document doesn't stand up to what it's supposed to be doing for their wishes, then they're not being served well.
I really understand and appreciate that. I've had to go through that with a family member, and it's quite daunting when it suddenly hits you. And when in my particular case I'm a guardian, but it's just really unfortunate that the power of attorney wasn't signed before all of that, because it would have shortcut a lot of things that I've needed people like your help for.
That's where I get called quite often to the Royal Adelaide Hospital and QEH as well, where people have left it almost too late to get things signed. And there's times when we're post-COVID, I've had to go in full gown, gloves and mask and all the works because someone's having surgery, or there's things that need to be dealt with.
It's a bit scary when it comes to that, for your peace of mind as well, I guess. You know, it's difficult to see people in that sort of distress.
It is, but we've also got to be very clear to ourselves that they're still competent enough to actually be of clear mind. At a time like many of those you just said, that would be very hard to be of anything.
I use it from my own experience, so that I was there for my dad, who's passed away just over 2 years ago. But I don't do it for the pat on the back, but there's times when I've gone to families and I can see that they're basically in crisis. I have the legislative requirements of what I can and can't do, which I strictly follow. But people are just amazed, and there's always a conversation of how much do I owe you, and they're like, it's a free service, and they're like, are you sure?
Yeah, and I'm like, now let's talk about that, because that I found quite a surprise. I understood that if you're going to a council chamber or to a library where that service could be provided for free, I didn't realise it extended past that point. Why do you do it?
Because we can't be coerced. So if we take payment for the signing of a document, that can be deemed as coercion to sign the document, or people could be talked into it. So therefore, well, that's my thinking of it. My thought process is that's why it is it is a free service, and no justices of the peace are allowed to accept payment for signing documents.
But not even from like a council or government?
Sometimes people depending on where they're working, if they're volunteering in some particular areas, a council or a court might give you a bit of a gratuity to cover travel or parking expenses and things like that. And that is not a payment for an individual service of a person. That is, so that doesn't come to a particular document or from a client.
Right. Well, we were talking before about there are JPs, for example, maybe bank managers or, as you said, police officers. But some people, it appears in the past, may have become a JP just to have the initials after their names. Obviously, this is not encouraged.
No, it's not encouraged. JPs are there to serve the community, and they're a volunteer role. And if we've got JPs that aren't not wanting to do the job anymore or whatever, then if they give up that role and allow other JPs to take over that roles who are going to be active in the role, then that's it gives more justice of the peace throughout the community.
Is there an infinite number that you can have?
It's not reached its cap. It used to have a cap.
Oh, okay.
It used to have a cap years ago, but certainly at the moment they're not turning people away that meet the requirements.
There was a 10-year appointment time frame, so there's.
Yes.
I know some people that have renewed, and others go.
But you could have just passed on as well during that 10-year cycle, because it tends to be people who have already retired. Not always.
Not
I realise
always.
that, but.
Yeah.
But to have the available time, if you're going to volunteer like you are, then obviously you need time, and if you're working during the daytime, that's difficult.
And there's many people that are JPs within their job roles as well, certainly within the Members of Parliament offices and councils. It's very convenient for staff members there to become JPs as well. And they're younger, and then often they will also volunteer outside of their work hours as well.
Right. So just quickly, Ian, now you've been doing this for a year and a half?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. What would you say to somebody that's maybe been in your position thinking, maybe I should do this? What's the best advice you can give them?
Do it and join the association when you do it. I had someone.
Well, you'd have to join the association, wouldn't you?
You don't have to join the association.
Oh, you don't have to. But you'd be dumb not to, otherwise you get no backup.
Correct. So for me, I actually had someone the other day was pretty keen, and so I gave them the details of how they become a JP, because they could go, I'd love to help the community, and so I just asked them a few questions about their eligibility, and they're pretty keen to sign up, which I thought was great, because there's a need out there in the community to help, and it's just great to be able to help people where you can.
Well, always very commendable. And we're going to come back in just a moment after these very commendable messages. And we'll see you in a tick. We have some great advice for you from our two JPs, Marlene Haese and Ian Pilkington. Marlene?
Yes, so everybody over the age of 18 should have an advanced care directive, an enduring power of attorney and a will, because anything can go wrong in your life at any time.
That's absolutely right, and it's something that we don't want to think about.
Correct.
But once we've done it, we don't have to think about it anymore.
I would suggest that you review it every 5 to 10 years.
Yes, because life changes.
Keep it current, exactly right.
Keep it current.
Yes.
Now, the other interesting thing is JPs are quite hysterical. I meant historical.
Historical.
Yes.
So they were formed originally by Richard the Lionheart in 1195, and they were keepers of the peace to keep the unruly people at bay.
Oh, so they were sort of were a sheriff.
They were a sheriff, and that's what we were saying about they did have weapons.
Yes.
And the name Justice of the Peace came around in 1327. And
Amazing.
So Justice of the Peace have been around for 830 years, and we don't look a year old, nearly that, do we?
Boom. Yeah, that's amazing. No, but and this was obviously an English system.
It was, yes.
And we're very lucky to have this Westminster system of government and so on, because it certainly saved us from a lot of other messing about,
Correct.
as is going on in the world. It's been great talking with you, because you filled in a few gaps I didn't really understand, and hopefully that's been the same for the people watching as well. So what's your plan for the future? To continue to do this? Have you got your 10 years up?
My 10 years. I'm into my second bout of 10 years at the moment.
You can't do it past...
No. I can't do a special justice past 70, but we've got no age limit on a justice of the peace. So you can be 105, 110, whatever you.
I'm close.
No, but we've got some people that do go into 100 plus. But
as long as you can still read the document.
Correct. So no. The moment, just growing the organisation and continuing to promote Justice of the Peace out in community, because a lot of people don't understand about who Justice of the Peace are and what we can do for people and how many people can help others through that method.
You don't have to wait to middle older life to be a JP from 18. I
From
encourage
18
people to sign up.
Look, it's been great talking with you. Thank you so much. And hopefully that's been of help to you to understand what a JP is, why we need them. And a big thank you to all of the JPs out there who have actually volunteered their time to do this, both now and into the future. Speaking of the future, until next time on Our Time, keep yourself nice till then, and a big thanks to you both.
Thank you very much.